Excuse me? What? Excuse me? What? I feel personally attacked today because there are two sad pieces of news that are ripping at my heartstrings for things that I love. So, there's also some good news, but good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. Today, I take you through the Nintendo roller coaster in about 10 minutes flat. Thank you so much for being here. Hit that like button if you enjoy these videos. We're talking about a sad exodus, a sad cancellation, and then also some new opportunities and a major third-party developer that seems to want to get on board the Switch too. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hit that like button if you enjoy these videos. I already said that. Forgive me. I am trying to forgive the first piece of sad news. Time, 10 p.m. Location, your pantry. You're hungry as heck, but have no clue what to make. The options are overwhelming, the ingredients are exhausting, and this is shaping up to be one terrible night. Enter Factor, here to save the day with their delicious, chef-crafted, dietitian-approved magic meals that are made in 2 minutes flat. You just pop the film, put it in the microwave, wait 120 seconds, and your night is saved. I love the stress that this eliminates from my life, and it's delicious. You'll be eating like a king or queen in 2 minutes flat. So make sure to click the link in the description down below. Every time you click the link, it helps support the channel, and you can get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders using my link. You can click that link or scan the QR code with your phone. They've also got delicious juices and smoothies to keep you running all day long. Factor is the perfect choice for anybody with a busy lifestyle, and let's all admit it, frankly, that's all of us. So get some great grub in your hands and get it quick. 2 minutes to delicious chicken, beef, seafood, and vegetarian dishes, 35 to pick from each week, and they always come out amazing, somehow super fast, super easy, and super, most importantly, when you need good food the most. Davide Soliani. This man is legit legend. Like, forget the fact that he made Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Forget the fact that the dude cries as his game gets announced. It means so much to him. Forget the fact that he is able to convince Nintendo that they can use Mario elsewhere. Nobody convinces Nintendo of that. Davide is just a great guy. Davide was really great to Gabe, my co-host on the channel for many years, and they had a great fun bond taking goofy pictures together and just meeting up at a few different events, and I feel like it was just such a special time for Gabe to get to meet somebody that he respected and enjoyed their work, and somebody that was really fun and playful with him as well. And then Davide, man, he personally wrote me a thank you for our review of Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. He's just a fantastic, genuine guy. He seems to really care about the big and the small. He's obviously a very successful, very famous developer, but he seems to still have a heart of gold and is very grounded. And so reading that after 25 years, 11 of which beautifully spent working with Nintendo on Mario plus Rabbids, along with the company of our incredible community of players, I've decided to leave Ubisoft to embark on a new adventure. I can't say more now. Thanks a lot for everything. Truly, love. Davide, we freaking love you. You made phenomenal games, and you made a masterpiece of something that had every right to be absolutely awful. When we first heard Mario and Rabbids, it sounded like it was going to be a disaster, and I believe wholeheartedly that Davide is one of the main reasons that it turned out so good. Now, my only hope for Davide is that he's actually going to work at Nintendo. Like, what if Nintendo poached Davide because he did such good work and impressed them so much, not only with his games and the characters in the games, but his character as a man? What if Nintendo is going to move Davide over to one of their EPD teams and have him work on Mario proper, the future of Mario, or a Mario spin-off, or something new IP entirely? I think Davide has the heart to make something hard happen, and I think that Nintendo needs that kind of energy in their development staff. Obviously, Mario Wonder was a risk taker, and it was wonderful. Davide could do the same for another franchise, a new franchise, or even Mario once again. I freaking love this guy. I hope that he's not leaving game development. 25 years is a long time. I did not think this guy looked that old. I did not think he was working on games for this long, but I just want to give a shout out to Davide. Phenomenal dude, fantastic game maker, and I appreciate you for all that you did on the Mario plus Rabbids franchise and all that you did for me and Gabe throughout the years as you worked with Nintendo and the Switch and just yeah, phenomenal dude. Sad to see you go. Does this mean the end of Mario plus Rabbids? Maybe that's why he's leaving? Are they not doing Mario plus Rabbids 3? Sparks of Hope didn't sell as well as Ubisoft was expecting. Maybe it's over. That's a story for another day. Right now, I just want to focus on the good that Davide brought. And now we'll go to another sad story, but let me know in the comments how you feel about Davide and if you agree that this guy should go to Nintendo. Now, this is not as important to me as Davide, but I have loved Crash Bandicoot ever since I was little. I think Crash Bandicoot is one of those rare franchises from like the PlayStation 1 era that holds up super well today. Nintendo and Crash have gotten along super well, with Crash Bandicoot getting the Insane Trilogy treatment on Switch, getting Crash Team Racing on Switch, and even Crash 4 on Switch. Now, I think Crash Insane Trilogy is one of the best packages you can buy on Nintendo Switch. I love those games. I think they hold up super well, and I think the remastered versions are excellent. I also think Crash Team Racing is an achievement, as maybe the second best racer on Switch after Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, Crash 4 is really good as well, bringing the character to the future, bringing the character to a modern era, and capitalizing on, hey, this genre that not many people outside of Nintendo use, which is the platformer. But it looks like Crash 5 has actually been canceled, which is mind-boggling to me and kind of maddening. Now, this probably has a lot more to do with Toys for Bob than it does the Bandicoot himself, but if you know, Toys for Bob was kind of relegated to indie studio status after their long tenured development on big franchises like Crash Bandicoot. They were acquired in the Activision Blizzard acquisition by Microsoft, and Microsoft sort of moved them to an indie studio. Supposedly, Microsoft is still helping them out, but I don't like the fact that they got nixed. Now, it seems like a developer who worked on Crash 4 and who also was working on their own separate project is now reporting that, hey, this has been canceled. This is Nicholas Cole, who was working on Projekt Dragon, which was not Spyro and not Crash, but in response to people talking about Projekt Dragon being canceled, they said, someday folks will hear about the Crash 5 that never was, and it's going to break hearts. What the heck? What do you mean the Crash 5 that never was? Crash is a franchise that deserves to continue, and especially because of its prominence on Switch. It always sucks to see somebody go. Just like with Davide, I don't want the Bandicoot to say bye-bye. And I thought that his reintroduction into the gaming sphere was superb. I thought Crash 4 sold well and was a very well-regarded, awesome game. So to hear that Crash 5 is canceled doesn't, to me, speak much about the Crash franchise, but more about Toys for Bob. Maybe eventually Crash does get rebooted with somebody new. But given that so many cool studios, especially studios part of Microsoft, are given the shrinky-dink treatment and either shrunk to an indie studio size or eliminated entirely, like the Hi-Fi Rush guys, this is a bummer. Hopefully Crash can get back on his feet someday. Maybe Davide should adopt Crash and make a Crash game for Nintendo Switch. Maybe Nintendo should just buy Crash. Maybe Nintendo should buy Toys for Bob. Maybe Nintendo should make all the games instead of all these other people that clearly know how to mishandle it in a bad way. Nintendo knows how to do it right, usually, and man, I'm just sad to see Crash go. I hope that Crash 5 eventually reaches the light of day, and we don't know if Crash 5 was like in its pitch stage, in its infancy, in its production, and what was going on. But still kind of a bummer. Let me know in the comments down below if you would have played Crash 5. If you would have played Crash 5, definitely give a thumbs up. We can't be all doom and gloom, and it definitely is not today, because one of the major developers in the world, a fantastic open world magic maker, is maybe looking for some Switch 2 developers. Now this is really cool because CD Projekt Red is actually known for bringing one of the best ports to Nintendo Switch. The Witcher 3 on Switch was like, wow, how did they fit all that on this tiny, disgusting tasting cartridge? They managed to make it work, and it turned out to be one of the best open world games ever featured on Nintendo Switch, and a fantastic realization of a game that probably had no business running on such a portable platform. Now it looks like CD Projekt Red is looking for a senior compliance QA analyst in the publishing QA department, and they say that they want them to have a lot of work on diverse platforms, including Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Apple. Now, this could just be, hey, we want you to be very diversified, we want you to be a very dynamic employee, we want you to be someone that has a history in the game industry, or it could be CD Projekt Red indicating that they are looking to bring their upcoming games to multiple platforms. Now, this is not too far-fetched because we know that Nintendo is going to up the ante when it comes to hardware. We know CD Projekt Red already worked with Nintendo on their biggest game, and it makes perfect sense that they'd want to get their next biggest game on as many platforms as possible. Apple is a weird one, but you do have to remember that Apple made deals to get Resident Evil Village on iPhone, even though it sold horribly. So maybe CD Projekt Red just wants to explore that, and eventually it'll probably just die off because I don't think console games on iPhones is really something that is going to have any sort of lasting presence. A cute idea, but nobody really wants to pay $50 for a mobile title. Even if it's not mobile, you're making it mobile, and it's not as good as the Switch. But the Switch 2 could be the perfect home and hub for not only future CD Projekt Red games, but also more ports. I think Cyberpunk 2077 plus the Phantom Liberty DLC would be a perfect addition to the early Switch 2 lineup, and would be a fantastic game that would inevitably sell really well, especially as a packaged version that updates the game to its more modern standards, where it has been massively overhauled to a much better product than what was initially released on launch day. CD Projekt Red could bring older titles as well as brand new titles to the Switch 2, and I do believe that this senior compliance QA analyst job description is indicating that CD Projekt Red wants to keep a wide breadth when they look at where they're developing and where they're publishing their games as they move forward. Last but not least, in some global goody good news, China's getting Pokemon. China is getting Pokemon for the first time since 2000, which is crazy, but that's 25 years nearly without some pocket monsters. Ash Ketchum has now aged to a grandpa in the time that has passed between the last Pokemon launch and the new one, which is going to be new Pokemon Snap over on the Switch. Now, if you're confused as to why, China has a very strict console ban. They recently opened up these rules and allowed the Nintendo Switch to be put out there, and they're bringing new Pokemon Snap as well as Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee to China, which is fantastic. These players are getting opened up to Pokemon after many generations. How many generations would that be? Like 2000? Pokemon 2000, that's Lugia and How-How. So we're talking like back since the very beginning. People have not been able to play Pokemon. And I don't think new Pokemon Snap and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are the greatest examples necessarily, but they're fun games and any Pokemon is good. They're getting Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, Breath of the Wild, Immortals Phoenix Rising, Samurai Showdown, and a few other titles. So thank goodness that some games are being brought to China. Personally, I think all games should be available there, but this is a start, and getting Pokemon out to all of those kids just makes me really happy. Like, imagine if today you were a kid, 10 years old, and you knew about Pokemon, but you were never allowed to play it, not because your parents were mean, but because your entire country banned it. And now finally it's being brought to your shores and you get to play it on your Switch. I think that's a magical moment. I think players are going to find a lot of fun here, and hopefully Nintendo can work to bring over Legends Arceus, Legends ZA, and Scarlet and Violet. They might be scared off by the performance, but they also might be amazed by the open world nature. Now, the funny part here is that these fans will not know how Pokemon has evolved over the last 25 years. They won't know like the small increments. So they'll just think, oh, this makes sense that Pokemon looks this good and plays this good and is this open. But in reality, we had to go through so much. But I'd rather go on that journey with all of you than not be able to play the game. So I thought this was a cool story to wrap up on. In the meantime, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Let me know your take on today's topics in the comments down below. Pour one out for Dobby Day, like a glass of water or maybe some tea. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you lots. SwitchForce out.